Our story is about a man who lived in a small town called Judea. We'll call him Jude. And there's something you should know about Jude. He was paralyzed, which means his legs simply didn't work. Jude didn't even know what it was like to feel the grass between his toes or to take one step. Jude spent every day staring out a tiny window, waiting for his friends to visit. We'll call them Tony, Nick, Barry, and Steve. They all crowded into Jude's small room. Jude would often dream of being able to walk and play with his friends. His friends would encourage him to set his hopes higher than walking. They told him maybe someday he would run, hop, maybe even dance. But Jude felt hopeless. All the doctors said he would never walk. One day, the friends came to visit Jude, and they were filled with excitement. They told Jude about a teacher in town named Jesus, and everyone was going to see him. He was able to cure all kinds of diseases. The friends were so excited that Jesus could heal their friend Jude. Jude still had little hope he would ever walk again. He said he didn't even have a way to get to where Jesus was. But the friends had a plan. The friends laid Jude on a mat, and each one grabbed a corner and hoisted him up. They carried Jude all the way to the house where Jesus was. They came upon a huge crowd, all gathered around the house. There were a lot of people. The people all seemed as though they were trying to listen to something, because they were all very, very quiet. Jude twisted on his mat, trying to get a better view, but Jude couldn't see through the crowds of people. Jude fought back tears of frustration. They'd come so close, but now he just wanted to go home. But his 4 friends were just getting started. "To the roof," the friends shouted. Before Jude could even catch his breath, the 4 friends were carting him up the steep, narrow pathway to the roof. Jude could hear Jesus from inside the house. The 4 friends worked together to peel away part of the roof. Jude peered down into the hole. Dozens of faces stared up in shock as tile dust drifted down, but the only person who mattered to Jude was the man standing directly below him, eyes wide and filled with humor. It was Jesus. The friends removed their belts and tied them to the corners of Jude's mat. And then they lowered him down through the hole in the roof. There were other religious leaders in the room, and they scrambled to get out of the way. Jude landed right at Jesus' feet, and Jesus smiled at him. Jesus smiled at Jude. Then he said something simple. "Friend, your sins are forgiven." This made the other religious leaders really mad. They said to each other, "Who does he think he is? God? Forgiving people's sins? The nerve of this guy!" Well, Jesus knew what they were thinking. In Luke 5:22 through 24, Jesus says, "Why are you thinking these things in your hearts? Is it easier to say, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Get up and walk'? But I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." Jesus looked directly into Jude's eyes and said, "Get up, take your mat, and go home." The crowd gasped as Jude stood up and took one step, and then another, and then another. The crowd opened up as Jude grabbed his mat and danced right out of the room. People gawked as he went by, and Jude's life had been changed forever from the inside out, all because his friends worked together to bring him to Jesus. We can work together to change someone's life. Because Jude's friends took the time to figure out how they could help, Jude was able to walk again, and maybe for the first time ever. God can use us to do the same thing for the people in our lives. We just need to be ready to help when we see someone in need.